And moving on now, the World Telecommunication Development Conference is drawing to an end in Rwanda's capital, Kigali. The meeting aims to explore innovative approaches and new models of collaboration for connectivity and digital solutions in this final decade of action to achieve the SDGs. Now, data shows us that while internet use surged in 2020, reaching 4.9 billion users worldwide, some 2.9 billion people are still unconnected and in growing danger of being left behind. Well, this conference will produce a globally agreed declaration and action plan that will include a new roadmap for harnessing digital technologies to drive socio-economic development and also set out the priorities for the sector for the next 4 years. Well, I spoke to the International Telecommunication Union Regional Director for Africa. They, of course, organized the conference, and we spoke about the negotiations and collaborations that are taking place at this year's event. Take a look.
Well, I think the statistics are here to tell us that definitely Africa needs a lot more work in terms of connectivity. That stands right now at barely 37%. And I'm talking about real access that allows people to do what you see, what you and I are doing at the moment, but also, other things like, e-health. You talked about the pandemic, or also e-work. Being able to work remotely has definitely been a source of challenge on the continent. So it is, I think, this year, in between the thematic priorities, but also the regional initiatives that the community on the continent has come together to devise tools that will help us to make sure that connectivity ramps up a bit and allows everybody from young kids to also professionals to our agriculturists and anybody else to really come online and do their work. So the challenges have just been a lack of infrastructure, all the way to lack of enabling environment, as well as digital skill.
But I'd like to just quickly delve further into the tools and, of course, the strategies for the telecommunication development sector, not just to address the issue of affordable internet, but also meaningful connectivity, and, of course, keeping up with the SDG goals going forward. What are some of those specific strategies?
So some of the specific, initiatives that we have include, for example, connecting schools. We have a project called GIGA that is a flagship one that is implemented right now in Rwanda, whereby, the purpose is to make sure that all schools in countries are connected. By connecting schools, one of the things that we also do as a ricochet effect is connect communities, where people can benefit from the connectivity that has come to a school to actually do other things, like, as I told you, just expedite regular work by benefiting from a network connectivity that has been put in a school, for example, back and forth. We have also another flagship project that is called GovStack. And this one, for example, helps governments to put together and set up, implement a series of applications at all levels that can help e-health, e-citizenship, that allows, for example, people to be able to ask for anything from their birth certificate to their house deeds, or whatever can be of interest to a person, to a citizen online. So those are simply two, I think, that are really crucial. And in doing that, there is also something that happened at this conference that is called Partners to Connect. That is an initiative that ITU took with a lot of our members, again, at every level, member states, sector members that are really private sector, to come together to say, for example, they all pledge one way or the other, from the connectivity to activities to infrastructure setup, for example, for with satellite companies or with fiber that will take, the infrastructure, the lack of infrastructure that we talked about earlier, to a new level, all the way to, yes, committing on Giga, for example, to connect, to help countries connect schools. So these are just a few of the things that we're hoping really and working on to make sure that we achieve the connectivity for meaningful connectivity for people, on this continent.